Are you planning on applying for a US visa, or are you struggling with filling the online DS-160 form? If that is you, don't worry too much, because this video is the best video out there that is going to help you fill your DS-160 form. And you know, it doesn't matter the country you are in, any country you are in, this video is going to help you. Ghana, China, India, any country you are in, this video is going to help you fill your DS-160 form from the first page to the last page till you submit it. And when you submit it, you're going to be very confident that this, I'm going to get my visa approved. And so don't worry too much, and I'm going to pinpoint some mistakes you should avoid to prevent your visa to be denied or to prevent your visa to be delayed. So that is what we're going to do in this video. So stay tuned and let's get started. No fancy introduction, nothing. All I need from you is to subscribe, and let's fill our DS-160 form and let's go and get our visas approved. So watch this video to the end where I share with you how to fill your DS-160 form, and you are going to get it. Okay, so before we start filling the DS-160 form together, there is one thing I want to tell you. It's very easy, it's not difficult. So as you can see on the screen, this is how the DS-160 form looks like, and we are not going to start from here. Okay, we are going to go straight back to Google, and we start from Google. And we fill everything from there. Okay, so that is exactly what we're going to do. Go back to Google, you type CEAC, and CEAC stands for Consular Electronic Application Center. So it will bring you here. You hit the first one, and you come here, DS-160. You choose the DS-160 non-immigrant form. You choose the first one, and you come to this part. So this is the interface of the DS-160 form, and as I said earlier, no matter your country, wherever you are, this is the section, or this is the website you have to visit in order to apply for a US non-immigrant visa. So you have to come here. So you're going to see this same interface. So you hit select one, you choose your country. So I'm using Ghana, but if you want to if you're in Nigeria, if you want to do it in Nigeria, you choose Nigeria, but I'm using Ghana. So wherever your country is, you choose that, and you choose the code. The code down here, you put it in nicely. Okay. So there are two sections here. You see start an application and retrieve an application. For now, we are starters, right? So we have to choose start an application, and so we choose that. But before we choose that, there is something here. He said write down the application ID. So after we hit start an application, we are going to get an application ID. So we write it down. And the second one says save application frequently. Sometimes when you take very long, it's going to log you out. So if you don't save it, you're going to start everything again. And there are 10 pages in the whole DS-160, and it's very simple. Okay, and I'm going to really repeat this often during the whole thing. It's very simple. It's very simple. So, and this part says test photo. If you have a photograph and you want to test it, let's try it very quick. And so if you have a photograph US and you want to test it whether it is eligible for like a US standard, you hit choose file. You go to, let's choose any file. For now, I don't have my US standard passport, but there's a Martin Luther King passport photograph. So let's put it in and see. So I'll put it in. It will not accept. Yeah, it's not valid image type. So but if you put it in, they will accept it when you put your American standard. So let's go back really quick and go straight into the DS-160. This shouldn't take more than a lot. Is, as I said earlier, it's not that difficult to fill the DS-160. But if there are important parts, I'm going to stop and I'm going to highlight on that part. So we hit start an application. This is what we're going to see. You hit agree, and over there we can see our application ID. So we're going to write our application ID down. A00, or you can take a picture if you are lazy like me. Yeah, who always try to, yeah, you take a picture, but I'm writing it down this time because I'm using my phone to record. So this is like a security question. Okay, what's the name of your mother's mother? You just choose, or you can change the question, and but I'm using the first one, the default one, and I'll just write Hannah. Okay, so you hit continue, and over there, that is your DS-160 online form. This is where we started. Okay, so there are 10 pages, and after you fill these 10, you upload your photograph, and you are done with the DS160. So as I said, it's very easy, and they're going to ask you basic questions. But if you're a student, these are the things you have to get. You have to get your passport, and you have to get your I-20. So let's go very fast. And so the first one is saying surname. So you type your surname as is in your passport. Okay, so Jatin, my given names. If you have 3 names, you type all of them in the second one aside your surname. So I'll do that. Full name in native alphabet does not apply. Have you ever used any other names? No, I haven't used any other names. So any telecode? No. Sex, I'm a male. Marital status, I'm single. Date of birth, you write your date of birth there. So I'm putting any date of birth there. The city you were born as in your passport. Kumasi does not apply. Ghana, I chose that not apply because Ghana doesn't have any state. But if you are in a country that has states, you put the state there. Like Nigeria, I think Nigeria has states, so you put the state there. So I'll choose Ghana here. So I'm done. And I remember telling you that you have to save. So this is save. You save it, and so you're done. So the next time you log in, you're not going to fill the first part again. You're just going to continue. So let's go to the next part. So this is the second part. It is asking you your personal information again. So this is your nationality. So I'll choose Ghana. So Ghana, do you hold or have you any other nationality? No. Are you a permanent resident of a country? Nope, I'm not a permanent resident of any other country. National identification does not apply. Now, US, I don't have a US social security number, does not apply. US taxpayer, does not apply. So save, you go ahead. So always try and save it before you go ahead. And so we are done with the first part. So 9 parts left. And as I said, it's very easy. Your purpose of trip to the US, why are you traveling to the US? You're a student, you choose academic. If you're a tourist, you choose the B, which is pleasure visitor. But we are choosing students because you're students. So you choose F1, but if you're a spouse of a student, you choose F2. So have you ever made any travel plans? Yeah, you have made travel plans. If you haven't made, try and give them an estimate of when you want to travel. Okay, so date of arrival in the US, you choose the date you want to travel to the US. And here I'm going to talk to you about something very, very soon. So May 2025, arrival flight if known. Maybe you're going to use Delta, any arrival flight, but I don't know. The city, let's use the city where you're going to alight at. Let's choose Boston. And departure from the US, date you think you're going to leave the US, let's choose June 2029. That is when I'm going to leave the US. 4 years after if you're an undergrad, and for masters 2 years after. Departure city, let's use the same, Boston. The city you are going to. So location you want to plan, you plan to visit in the US, Boston. Plan to visit Boston. Okay, so there is one thing I need you to notice very much here. Okay, as you see the date of arrival, you can't travel to the US. You can only travel to the US a month before your school reopens. So if your school reopens in August, you have to travel somewhere around July, and the time you have to travel is also on your I-20. So cross check on that. So I can't write May because May is more than 3 months before we reopen. So choose a very close date to your reopen. So somewhere around August 5th. Yeah, it's reasonable. Yeah, because it's within 1 month before your school reopens. Take note of that. And you have to also add a departure date as well. Even if you don't know, you estimate the time you want to come back to your country. And this is a non-immigrant, so you have to get the time you will come back to your country in there. So you type the address of your school. So let's double up. So you know the address of your school. If you don't know, it's on the school's website. You go there. City, let's just use Boston. State is in, let's use any state, Massachusetts. Your zip code, the school has a zip code, so you type it in there. Person paying for your trip, if it's yourself, you just choose self. But if it's your parents, and this place has to be your sponsor, the person sponsoring your education, that person has to be paying for your trip. So if it's your father sponsoring for education, on the I-20, you have to choose other person. Okay, and they're going to ask you an information of the other person, which is your father. So you type your father's name, Jonathan, other given name Paul Ade. So you type it there, and his phone number, you type your father's phone number. His email address, you type his email address in there. Okay, .com. Your relationship to you, now that you're going to type, show that he's your parent. So parent, is this address the same thing as your email mailing address? Yes, I stay with my dad, so yes. So you are done. So you save it again, you are done with the second part. So 8 parts more to go. As I said, it's not that difficult. So any person traveling with you? No, I'm traveling alone. You save it. We are done with the third part, fourth part. Yeah. Have you ever been in the US? No. This is my first time ever applying. So have you ever been issued a US visa? No. But if you have been issued a US visa before and you're applying again, you choose yes, and you're going to give information on the date and everything. So have you ever been refused a visa? If you have been refused before, maybe you went for the first time and you are denied, you have to choose yes, and you explain. There maybe maybe you were nervous, you didn't know what to do, you couldn't prove home ties, so you explain it there. But for now, if it's your first time, you have to select no. And has anyone filed an immigrant petition on your behalf? No. So you save it and continue application. So we are done with the fourth part, 5 parts more to go. So home address, where you stay, the address of your home, let's put, and Ghana, you can use the GPS address, it works. So you put the GPS address there, and the maybe street name, Asajo Street, anything. So you just put your street address there. The city, you put Kumasi. State, Ghana doesn't have a state. So zip, most African countries do not have a zip code, so does not apply. Country, Ghana again. So you put your country there. So mailing address, is it the same as your mailing address where they can send you a mail? The answer is yes. But if you hit no, you have to provide where they can send you mail. So you hit yes if you stay in the same place. So phone number, you type your phone number there, and secondary phone number, no, nope. Have you used any other phone numbers in the past 5 years? Nope. Your email address, so you type your email address there at gmail.com. Type it there nicely. And have you used any other emails? No. And this part is they're asking for your social media account. And so if you have a good social media account, posting good things there. Yeah, I always tell people around me that post like 9 things on your social media, because you may not know who is going to check you out. So I put my LinkedIn social medias. Yeah, so you write your social media there, or anything that will let them identify you. So do you wish to provide information about your presence on any, like you have a website, you have anything, applications you want to share to them, you hit yes. But I do not have, so I'll hit no. And if you want to add your Facebook as well, you can add your Facebook. Where is Facebook? Facebook. Yeah, Facebook is here. So my Facebook name, you just put your Facebook name there. Yeah, so you hit save, and you go to the next part. So yeah, so this is the part you need your passport. So this is my Ghanaian passport, and I'm going to look in to fill this part. So what type of passports? This type is mostly regular. I don't know for yours. If it's official, you use official. The passport number. So in the passport where your face is, you're going to see your passport number. It starts with a letter and 7 numbers. So you write the passport number there. So yeah, and passport book number, you hit does not apply. Most African countries do not have a passport book number. And if you want to check out the passport book number, you look through your passport. If you don't see any other specific number aside the number you typed, like your passport book number, you don't have a without aside the passport number, you don't have a passport book number. So you hit does not apply. For Ghana, it does not apply. For most countries in Africa, it does not apply. So where was the passport issued? This information is in the passport. So you look in the passport, it's written here Accra. So type Accra in the state on the passport is shown. There is no state shown. Date issuance is shown on the passport. So January maybe 2021, you just put it there. It's on the passport. So to maybe January 2031, you put it there. So have you ever lost? No. So as always, you save it. Continue. Because I'm feeling it very fast, they are not going to log me out for me to start all over again. But if they log me out, I'll need my ID. So as I said, keep your ID very safe. And this part, so we are done with 6 parts already. So very easy. Contact person in the USA. So this is very important. You're coming to the USA to study. Okay, so the person you are going to, your contact person has to be someone related to the school, maybe your DSO. So you type your DSO's name there. So the name of your DSO, let's say his name is Dean Francis, or Abuaje Francis. So let's put Abuaje there. Dean is like, yeah, yeah, Abuaje Francis. That is the name of, no, let's put Dean there. Dean is like a white name. So yeah, and the organization name, the name of your school, you put it there. The name of your school, I'll put it there. And relationship to you, who is the person to you? He's a school official, so you put it there. And you type in the address of your school again, okay, because the person is in your school. So you type in the address of your school, and the address of your school is in your school's website, or yeah, you can find it. Yeah, so the city again, Boston. The state, Massachusetts. And a zip code, you type in the school's zip code. The person's number, mostly when they send you an email before everything, they're going to add their numbers to the is it the salutation, no, subscription, oh yeah, part, the last part. They're going to add it. So you type in their email address, maybe Dean Francis at harvard.edu. Yeah, something like that, something similar. So yeah, you are done with this part. You save it again, you go to continue application. So this is, yeah, so they need the information of your relatives. So you type the information of your father there, and your father's given names, so you type it there. And your father's date of birth, maybe 1st January. January is really suffering. Let me use February. 1960. Maybe that was when your father was born. Is your father in the US? Nope. Your mother. Types the surname of your mother and the other names of your mother. I'm just using random names as well. So you put in the date of birth of your mom. No, she's not in the US. Do you have any immediate relatives in the US? No, you don't have. Maybe you don't have anyone. Do you have any other relatives in the US? No, I don't know anyone in the US. So you save it, continue application, work. So this place, they're going to ask about your current job you are doing. If you're a student, you select student. But if you're not employed, you are staying at home, you have to get something going on with your life, you understand? So let's select student. So students, you're going to select, maybe you just completed high school, you just select student and you put your high school name there. But if you have gone, like you are not in high school, you put like the job you are doing. Maybe you're in the health sector right now, so you put health, and you put where you work there. Maybe you work at a specific hospital, you put it there. But for this, you're going to select not employed. So what do you do when you are not employed? So maybe I volunteer for a hospital, for or for a children's home, or a care home, or anything. I volunteer for a non-profit organization, like something like that. Or if you're a student, just be frank about what you do. Organization, American English, they just underlined it. So organization, where You just write some activities you do where I do this, I provide food for the homeless. Yeah, you write the thing you do for the organization. Yeah, so you save it. So you're done with this part, and you continue application. Okay, but if you want to select anything, if you're in the military right now, you select military, and you put down the information there, and they are going to ask you your monthly income. So you put your monthly income there, and you put the time you started doing the military there, the dates, and yeah, you're good. So I think it's simple so far, nothing very complicated. But make sure that the things you're writing, you have to say the exact thing when they ask you during the visa interview, because consistency is very important during your visa interview. So maybe you're a teacher right now, so it's hate education, and you type where you teach, and you're going to give the duties you perform as a teacher. So yeah, so let's choose not employed right now, and let's say you volunteer for I volunteer for or I I intend, or yeah, I do an unpaid internship at this. So what you currently do. So you save it, and you continue your application. And so we are the next part. Previous work or education training. Were you previously employed before what you are doing currently? No, I wasn't. But if yes, you're going to explain what you did. So no. Have you ever attended any educational institution at the secondary level or above? Have you ever gone to a university? So mostly if you're a master's student, you have to select yes, and you have to give the name of your undergrad, what you did for an undergrad. But after secondary level, you haven't done anything, or you are applying for undergrad after SHS high school, you are still at home, you hit no, and you just save and continue. So you continue application, you go to the next. Do you belong to any clan or tribe? And this is very important, and this in a way proves your home ties. Okay, so if you yeah, you definitely belong to a clan or tribe, so don't select no. I wouldn't recommend you select no, just select yes. Choose the clan you belong to, because you have to belong to a community, you understand? Yeah, so you hit the languages. Yeah, you enter the languages you speak. I speak English, you speak Cree. You let them know all the languages you speak. I'm just adding random things to that. So, have you traveled to any countries within the last 5 years? Nope. So if yes, you hit yes, and you type the country or the place you travel to. Maybe you've been to Taiwan, China for one or two things. You do that. Have you ever belonged to or contributed for any professional or social charitable organization? Yes. Why? Where they are going to ask you maybe the name of the organization: Youth for Change Movement. Youth for Change. So what you are currently doing. So you can add other organizations, maybe a children's home, maybe whatever you were, maybe yeah, charitable organization, a professional organization. You were yeah, you just type it in there. You add another, and you type it in there. Do you have any special skills or training with firearms? I don't know how to use gun, so nope. Military, nope. Um, have you ever served? Param, nope. Save it. So we are entering into the section of no's. I call the section of no's because most for me is no. Do you ever have any communicable disease? No. Do you have mental, or but you have to read it first. No. Drug abuser. I'm not a drug abuser, so no. So this is basically no section. You go to the next part. Have you ever been arrested? No. If you've been arrested, you say yes, and you explain. So have you ever violated? Nope. Are you coming to the US for prostitution? Akosia, are you coming for prostitution? Nope. Or Yao, are you coming for prostitution? Have you ever been involved in or money laundering? Nope, nope, nope. If you read it, you are definitely going to select no for most of them. So someone might ask, "Oh, why am I selecting? Why do they ask these questions?" It's very important. One day you're going to know the reason why. Yeah, it's very very important. If you commit a crime or something, they'll come back to refer to you. But you said no. Yeah. So it's best if you are. So I'm going to select no for each of them because I've done this over and over again. So no, 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 no. Save. No, 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 no. So have you ever avoided tax and other things? So if you read it, you get to know what to do. Because of time saving, that's why I'm going very fast. And at this point, they need two people who are not from your family, their names to testify, to verify your information. So you get two people you know who are not in your family. So maybe you know someone called Emmanuel. So maybe Osei, Emmanuel, Emmanuel. You type in his name and address where the person stays, 200 maybe at Treka Street. You type it there, and the city, maybe he's from Accra. You put it there, and the person has to be in your home country where you stay currently. So you can't use a person staying in Nigeria because I think they'll write it here. I don't know. Yeah, they have to. Yeah, in your country of residence. So it has to be in your country. So don't use another person from another country. So that's not apply. That's not apply. The country is Ghana. His phone number. If you don't know, you hit that's not apply by someone who is verifying your information. You don't know his phone number. So write his phone number. You write his Gmail address and at gmail.com. If you don't put the correct address, it's going to prompt you that you didn't put the correct address. So I intentionally made this mistake. So JD, the name, maybe the last name, he's called Paulo. And street address, maybe yeah, you put any street address there. Calcutta Street. You put it there, and the city. You put the city there, maybe Mumbai. But it has to be your home country. So I use Ghana, so I have to put a country in Ghana, a city in Ghana. So I'm using Kumasi, and state. No, Ghana doesn't have a state. No zip code, but he has a number. He put the number there, and you put the person's email there at gmail.com. So it may give me an error because I didn't fill this one well. It has to be a correct email format, so at gmail.com. So now I think I'm all good. I can go ahead, continue. So this is the part where they need your service. This is the part where your I-20 finally comes in, and that's the last part of the DS-160. Last but one. So on your I-20 top left, you're going to see your service ID. It starts with an N and followed by 10 numbers or 9. Yeah, you put it there. You put the name of your school there, Harvard University. You put it there. And course of study, you put what do you want to study. Gynecology, am I right? Computer science. I don't want any embarrassment. I can spell. Street address, you write where your school is located. Maybe 4343 High Street, you write it there. And you write the city there, and the state the school is in, and the zip code of your school. You write it there, you save it. And they said I made a mistake. Okay, I typed more zip code than expected, so you save it. Continue application. So you are done with the DS-160. That is basically it. You just have to upload a photo from here, okay? And after that, you review it. It's going to show you everything you've done at the review section. And if you think you've made a mistake, so you look through the review section. If you think you made a mistake, you can edit it before you go to the last part. You sign. They are going to ask you questions about female genital mutilation, and you sign. It's not, yeah, you just accept and you sign. And the code that we typed earlier on it will come. You put in the code and you submit. So that is it about the DS-160. And you can download what you filled. And after you submit, you're going to see the confirmation page. and this is how the confirmation page looks like. I'm going to show you, and that is what you're going to send to your visa interview. And yeah, you are going to send a confirmation page to your visa interview. They're going to check that. So that is basically it about the DS-160. So after you are done, you download it and make sure that whatever you say during your visa interview has to go in line with whatever you are doing, whatever you say. Okay, whatever you say has to go in line with whatever you did on the DS-160 online on Immigrant Form. So here you upload your photo, just like you did. And if the photo is not right, it is going to tell you that it's not right, so upload another photo, just like we did at the beginning. So it's going to tell me that it's not valid, so you have to get a US standard photograph for them. Okay, and you go from there. Okay, so that is basically it. Let me try and use a photograph. I don't think I have a photograph right here. Yeah, I don't have a photograph here, but yeah, you download it and you submit your application. So that's it. You make sure to download all the PDFs and you are done with your application. So that's it about the DS-160. Very easy. Just your personal information and the information, the things you do right now, the information on your passport and the information on your I-20 and your intent of traveling to the USA. So the main thing you have to do, okay, these are the common mistakes. Make sure that your date you want to travel to the US has to be 1 month before you reopen school. That is very important. Make sure you belong to a tribe or an organization, or yeah, it in a way proves your home ties. And also, what again did I mention? Yeah, I think that is it. And make sure you don't make any mistakes when you are applying. And I think yeah, so the most, and this is a non-immigrant visa, so when they ask you the time you're going to return back, you're going to return to your home country, just get something for them, like unintended, when you intend to go back to your country. You just have to write it. Maybe if you're an undergrad, in 4 years. If you're a graduate student, in 2 years, maybe. Yeah, so you calculate it. Today is 2025, so you let them know that in 2027 you're going to come back to your home country. That is very important. So thank you very much. This is everything about the DS-160. But if you need any question on something I didn't cover, you let me know and we go from there. Okay, so thank you very much and have a wonderful day. So as I promised in the beginning of this video, that by the end of this video, I'm going to let you know you are going to be able to fill your DS-160 form. So by now, you should be able to do it on your own. And if you have any question and you are stuck at any part of the DS-160 form, you let me know in the comment section. I'm going to see it and we are going to address that together. Okay, so you are not in this alone. We are all in this together. My prayer for you is to get your visa approved, and you're going to get it approved. You believe in yourself and you believe in God, and everything is going to be fine. You prepare adequately and you are good to go. So that is it. And make sure, the most important thing, make sure that what you say during your visa interview has to be consistent with what you wrote in your DS-160 form. Okay, so thank you very much. All the best in your visa interview, and I'll see you in the US very soon.